Dio is one of the most iconic villains in anime history, with his cunning, sadistic nature and his insatiable thirst for power. He's been an imposing presence in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, making appearances in almost every part of the series. But one thing that makes Dio even more interesting is the fact that there are alternate versions of him. That's right, Dio Brando has several alternate iterations, each with their own unique abilities and quirks. And every version of Dio has left a lasting impact on the series and its fans. And in this video, we'll be exploring each of these alternate versions in detail. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn all about the alternate versions of Dio Brando in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's time to dive into the unmitigated masculinity, jokesters, and the ultimate villain himself. Hey guys, what's up? If you're a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like me, then you should definitely check out my YouTube channel. I've got tons of content about JoJo, from reviews to analysis. And if you're not a fan yet, what are you waiting for? Come on over and join the JoJo hype train. Hit the subscribe button and let's have fun together exploring the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure world. See you on the other side. Dio Brando, also known as simply Dio, is first introduced in Part 1, Phantom Blood, as the adopted brother of the protagonist Jonathan Joestar, in a story that takes place in the late 1800s in Britain, where Dio Brando is first seen as a cunning and manipulative young man who initially takes advantage of his new family's kindness, abusing both Jonathan and his father, physically and emotionally. This abusive behavior is soon revealed to be a part of a larger plan, as Dio is focused on obtaining George's wealth and status. As the series progresses, Dio's malevolent nature is further revealed. He's shown to be a sadistic vampire obsessed with power and domination. Dio gains the power of vampirism by using a stone mask, an ancient artifact that was found in George Joestar's possession. With this newfound power, he's able to control the minds of his victims, drain their blood for sustenance, and use various special abilities. And Dio's main goal in Phantom Blood is to eliminate the Joestar family entirely and take over the world, using his vampiric powers to control the minds of those around him. And he takes a particular joy in manipulating his own allies. And despite his brutality, Dio's charisma and charm makes him an absolute force to be reckoned with. And one of the most memorable moments in Phantom Blood is Dio and Jonathan's final confrontation, where the embodiment of evil is put up against the symbol of righteousness. In the end, Jonathan is able to overcome Dio and ultimately defeat him. Dio's character design is iconic, with his sharp features, distinctive hair, and a flamboyant wardrobe. His voice actor in the anime adaptation, Takehito Koyasu, brings a sense of elegance and charm to Dio's malicious persona, making him a truly unforgettable villain. Dio Brando is an incredibly complex antagonist in Phantom Blood. He's the apex of evil, with no remorse for the people he hurts, and a terrifying power at his disposal. His charisma and charm make him a compelling character to watch, as viewers are both mesmerized and horrified by his actions. Dio's impact on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is undeniable. Now, to Stardust Crusaders, similar to his depiction in Phantom Blood, Dio's motivations are primarily fueled by his desire for power and domination. He craves to rule the world and believes he can achieve this by using his powers to control the minds of others, now having his vampiric attributes held back by the incompatibility with Jonathan's body. To make up for it, Dio has now two stands to rely upon, the world and Jonathan's stand, knowing the novel George Joestar as the Passion. Here, Dio is often seen as a charismatic and manipulative leader who can easily convince others to follow him and do his bidding. One of Dio's most notable traits is his sadistic and cruel nature. He takes pleasure in causing pain and suffering to others, often using his powers to directly cause harm to his enemies. He enjoys playing mind games and toying with his opponents, giving them false hope before delivering a crushing blow. Dio is a complex character that is full of contradictions. He possesses a charismatic charm and a certain level of confidence that makes him almost likable. He never loses his sense of superiority and still retains a strong god complex. Dio's powers are met with resistance from the protagonist Jotaro Kujo. He is able to defeat Dio in an epic battle, revealing the true strength of the human spirit. He was not only a formidable opponent, but also an interesting and layered character that added depth to the series. Now to Stone Ocean, Dio demonstrates a burgeoning ability to form genuine relationships in numerous conversations with Pucci. Dio has seemingly matured past his megalomania, and due to his mother's kindness and influence on him during his younger years, he developed an extreme fixation on the concept of heaven. And for what it was worth, Dio appears to have genuinely cared about Pucci, and even more so about his plan to go to heaven, stating outright that he would sacrifice his organization, his vampiric abilities, his stand, everything, just to achieve his goal of attaining heaven. Diego worked as a groom in horse racing until he was old enough to become a real jockey, after which his natural talents allowed him to quickly rise to the top of the British equestrian. Diego Brando is a genius British jockey, hailed as one of the best competitors to win the steel ball run race. However, he eventually shifts his attention to gathering the Saints Corps for President Funny Valentine. After learning of the race's true purpose, Diego becomes a lifelong rival to Gyro and Johnny, and although he teams up with many different individuals over the course of the race, Diego is only truly loyal to himself. After obtaining the corp's left eye while under the control of Dr. Ferdinand Stan's scary monsters, Diego acquires his own independent version of the same Stan. He is said to have married an old woman for her wealth, and in the same vein participated in the steel ball run race for prestige. Diego is particularly vindictive against anyone who gets in his way and doesn't hesitate to injure or kill them, although he doesn't automatically manifest murderous intent. After Ferdinand was defeated, Diego stole the corpse paw and fused with his left eye, allowing him to retain the ability to transform into a dinosaur. While initially only benefiting from enhanced senses and strength, the stand and all of its abilities eventually became his. The Diego Brando from another world is much crueler than the original Diego, driven purely by the goal of using the corpse power for himself. Alternate Diego is shown to be more than willing to sacrifice innocent people for his own sake, showing no remorse himself. This Diego is introduced to the root world of the corpse by President Funny Valentine after the death of the original. He is a racer from a similar steel ball run happening in another parallel world. Valentine had tasked this Diego with coveting the Saint's corpse in his place, should he be defeated by Johnny Joestar. After stealing the corpse, alternate Diego ambushes Johnny in the final stage. Once the latter tries to pursue him, he's a stand user just like the original counterpart. But unlike the original, due to the Saint's corpse only existing in the root world, he does not wield scary monsters. Instead, this version of Diego possesses the time-stopping stand The World. Diego's stand is almost identical to Dio's, a powerful humanoid stand capable of stopping time for 5 seconds. Differing slightly in appearance, the stand replaces the hearts in its design with D emblems on its knees, sports clocks on its shoulders and hips, and lacks the gloves, knuckle plates on its arm braces. It possesses a much slimmer physique while removing its pseudo-robotic arm pivots and knee hinges with joints under solid skin to appear more human-like. And there is this Dio. I'm not gonna spend too much time here. Honestly, this story is pretty stupid and has a very ugly art. Basically, in the light novel, the main thing this Dio is known for is his absurd power. He is one of the 3 users who possess the Beyond ability after the death of Tsukumojuku Kato, the original user of Beyond. The ability was split between 3 people: George Joestar, Georgie Joestar II, and Dio himself. Dio uses his Beyond, believing he's king of the world. Beyond essentially gives its user plot armor or script immunity. It grants a self-awareness in which he realizes that he is just a character in someone else's story, and by believing in his Beyond, it gives him the means to do whatever he needs for his benefit, as long as he believes in it. It is currently one of the most powerful abilities in the JoJo's series, despite being non-canonical, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the ultimate stance, some of which he acquired during the battle against Cars, like Simon Ultimate Requiem, which he turns into Maiden Heaven Ultimate Requiem, while still possessing the World Ultimate, which Cars had stolen from him. And as you can imagine, these are simply insanely overpowered versions of the same canonical stance. Heaven Ascension Dio originally existed in an alternate timeline in which the events of Stardust Crusaders ended with the annihilation of the entire Joestar bloodline. The story is featured in the famous video game title called Eyes of Heaven. He came out to compete with his ridiculously powerful George Joestar counterpart for the post of the strongest version of the character. Dio succeeded in killing Jotaro Kujo, Joseph Joestar, and the other members of the heroes group. Now free to pursue his original goal of obtaining heaven, Dio collected the souls of the 36 sinners alongside Pucci as he evolved his stand and became the perfect being with godlike power. Heaven Ascension Dio, now unrivaled and unstoppable, proceeded to conquer the world and rewrote all of humanity so they would worship him as their one true god. Dio's evolved stand, the world over heaven, in addition to his ability to stop time, can now override reality, but if he loses the use of his hands, he can no longer use it until he heals himself. This also allows him to rewrite anything within any timeline line, except for changing his stance range. The world over heaven also retains the world's original super strength, speed, and incredible precision, but more enhanced than Jotaro's Star Platinum. Beyond that, Dio in his ascended form has the powers of teleportation, instantaneous regeneration, resurrecting the dead, mind control, and can summon lightning bolt to attack and target his opponents. He also appears to have the ability of dimensional travel, similar to Funny Valentine's D4C. This form, however, as no two versions of the same person or thing can coexist in the same dimension, should Part 3 Dio or something connected to him, like his golden bracelet rings, come into contact with Heaven Ascension Dio or their matching item, both versions will collide and destroy each other. Jotaro exploited this when he shattered Heaven Ascension Dio's arms with the aforementioned Part 3 Dio's bracelet rings. And there you have it, all the versions of Dio Brando in one video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. With that being said, thanks for watching this video, see you in the next one.